Is life more similar to chess or poker? The author of this book believes life is more like poker, and gaining a deeper understanding of this idea can significantly enhance our decision-making qualities. And you don't need to know how to play poker to appreciate the book. Decision-making and risk management have always been intriguing and important topics for me. Unfortunately, shallow content in this area is abundant. However, the book Thinking in Bets, Making Smarter Decisions When You Don't Have All the Facts, truly captivated my interest and proved to be a worthwhile read. In this video, I'm going to share key insights from the book which have provided me valuable and good mental exercises for evaluating my decisions. By the way, this video is not sponsored. First and foremost, I'd like to mention that the author's background captivated my interest. Adiban is a former professional poker player, having achieved remarkable success in the field, including winning a World Series of Poker bracelet and being the leading money winner among women in World Series of Poker history. She also holds a PhD in cognitive psychology from the University of Pennsylvania and has used her knowledge to contribute to cognitive behavioral decision science and decision making. What's fascinating about Adiban is her ability to translate her poker expertise into valuable life lessons that extend beyond the card table. This background makes her well suited to offer insights on making smarter decisions, even when faced with uncertainty, which is an essential aspect of both poker and life. Poker is interesting in the sense that it is entirely possible for an inexperienced amateur to beat a seasoned professional. No matter how skilled you are at poker and how calculated your decisions may be, a novice player can still win against you with a stroke of luck. In contrast, this is not the case with chess. It is virtually impossible for an amateur chess player to beat a chess master. Essentially, if there's a significant skill gap between two chess players, the outcome can be predicted and random luck plays a negligible role. I think this might be why a game like poker is more thrilling than chess, and why people generally tend to prefer poker over chess for entertainment and excitement. Adiban believes that decision-making in poker mirrors real-life situations more closely than chess for several reasons. In both poker and real life, we often have to make decisions with incomplete information. We can't predict the outcome with absolute certainty, and new information can change the course of events. This is in contrast to chess, where all information is available to both players and there's no luck and hidden information involved. Poker and real life involve elements of luck, while chess is purely skill-based. No matter how skilled you are at poker or how well planned your life is, unforeseen events can occur, affecting the outcomes. If that's the case, why do so many books, lessons, and courses exist for poker? What's the benefit of all this training if an amateur can beat a professional? The key point here is that if these two players compete against each other numerous times, the more skilled player who consistently makes better decisions will ultimately come out on top and take home the winnings. The value of learning, training, and practicing poker lies in refining one's skills and decision-making abilities over the long term. By consistently applying the strategies and making informed choices, a professional player can significantly increase the chances of success and profit in the game, even though luck and uncertainty remain inherent factors. The same logic indeed extends to financial markets and trading. Like poker, the world of finance involves elements of luck, hidden information, and the need to make decisions in the face of uncertainty. In both fields, there is always the possibility that an inexperienced investor or trader might occasionally outperform an experienced one due to chance. However, just as in poker, consistent success in trading and investing relies on refining strategies, making informed decisions, and learning from past experiences. By developing a deep understanding of market dynamics, risk management, and asset valuation, skilled investors and traders can stack the odds in their favor, increasing their chances of success in the long run. Moreover, both poker and trading require a combination of intuition, analytical skills, and the ability to read and anticipate the actions of others. Successful poker players and traders must be adaptable, learning from their mistakes and continuously refining their strategies. While luck plays a role in both poker and financial markets, it is the skilled and disciplined individuals who consistently make informed decisions and learn from their experiences who are more likely to achieve long-term success. One of the key points Aniduke tries to convey in her book is the importance of improving the quality of our decision-making to enhance our overall quality of life. But how can we improve the quality of our decisions, or more precisely, our decision-making process? The central idea of the book, which is also the title, is that we should treat every decision as a bet. I found this idea intriguing, and since learning about it, I've tried to practice this mental exercise, at least for decisions that matter to me, or when I want to improve the quality of my decisions. Imagine you're about to leave the house without an umbrella even though it's cloudy. You look outside, see a few people without umbrellas, and decide not to take yours. Now, if someone asks you, "Are you sure you don't want to take an umbrella?" Is that a good decision? Are you betting? You, who were confident about your decisions just a few moments ago, start to second-guess yourself. You might even check a weather app. Now that you see this decision as a bet, your attention to detail in assessing information increases, and you become open to reevaluating your assumptions. Your perception of why people didn't have umbrellas might change, and you think to yourself, maybe they made the wrong decision. Maybe they're driving and staying inside the car, or perhaps they had umbrellas but you didn't see them, or they might have had their umbrellas in their bag, or left them somewhere. Developing this way of thinking will help us examine our decision-making processes and the potential outcomes of our decisions with greater precision. We become more aware of our limited knowledge and uncertainties, preventing us from assuming we are entirely certain about a decision or a specific subject. Personally, I strongly agree with this idea. I believe that the more we expand our awareness and perception, the more humble we become in our thinking, allowing us to view our beliefs with less bias and remain open to courageously and open-mindedly reevaluating our assumptions. Another key point, and perhaps the most important and memorable lesson of the book, is that a bad outcome does not always equate to a bad decision. If I were to ask you about the best and worst decisions you made last year, you would likely recall decisions that had great outcomes and those that turned out badly. However, the book aims to challenge this mindset and asks us to reassess our thought process. Imagine someone who knew nothing about cryptocurrencies or finance, invested all their hard-earned saving into Bitcoin in 2012-2013, simply because they heard about it from a friend at a party. Years later, this person made an extraordinary profit and probably improved their financial situation significantly. However, it's evident that this was not a wise decision at the time, as no one could have predicted Bitcoin future success. It would be foolish to invest your life saving based on a random conversation without thorough research and understanding. In other words, this was a bad decision with a surprisingly good outcome. And this person was extremely lucky, but if they fail to recognize the flaws in their decision making, they might make similar risky investments in the future, leading to devastating and irreversible losses. Conversely, someone might make a well-informed and calculated investment decision based on their knowledge and risk assessment. Despite their sound decision-making process, they could still experience negative consequences due to unforeseen external factors. It would be unfair to assume they made a bad decision. Rather, they made a high-quality decision that happened to have an unfavorable outcome. If they maintain this approach and continue making well-informed, rational decisions, they will eventually reap the rewards and minimize the impact of misfortune while capitalizing on opportunities that come their way. To improve our decision-making quality, we must develop a habit of evaluating our decision-making process separately from the outcome. Avoid becoming trapped by the illusion of success or failure. Ask yourself, how and through what process did I make this decision? How did I gather information? How did I assess the situation? To what extent did I rely on credible sources and data? How much effort did I put into considering various aspects of the issue and avoiding cognitive biases to the best of my abilities? This video wasn't a summary of the entire book, Thinking in Bets, but rather my personal take on a few interesting points from it that I wanted to share with you. If you find these insights intriguing, I encourage you to read the book and from your own perspective. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing for more content. Until next time, take care and keep learning.